So today what we are going to discuss, it is going to be some specific discussion about reading comprehension. So just I'm going to highlight some important question marker and then the justification of answer. Okay. So whenever you look at any question, what parameter you should follow, or when you are confirming answer, then what you should do to pick the right answer. So that will be the part of discussion of the day. Now, so inference is the question where yes, you will struggle, and therefore I suggested to give inference sufficient time, and hence approach inference question patiently, give sufficient time. If you are unable to comprehend, if you are unable to derive message, inference will be a problem. Now I say that what should be substitute, okay, then what should be. So because other questions are quite easy, therefore deal with other questions. Why? Because they have direct logic. Okay, direct logic. If the passage is difficult, yet direct logic. If passage is easy, yet direct logic. So what question you should approach first? Specific. All specific first. Why? Because it gives hint. Hint of hint. Hint means what? Hint through line, hint through word. So you should deal with a specific question. Then, not then, but one of them. You can do these questions first, not first, second, third. It depends on your choice. Because global has no connection with specific and specific has no connection with global. Now, global means what? Answer from first and last para. In case of specific, it is nearby given line. In case of global, it is always first and last. Tone. It means first para plus first sentence of each para. All right. Reasoning. Reasoning means either about para or line. So you have to check why. That is called reasoning question. Evidence. Evidence and inference question. Both require whole passage reading. But inference will be complicated and evidence will be directly related. So evidence means what? Cited, not cited, given, which line is the related to the first para, which line is the related to the conclusion, which line is related to the certain word. That is called evidence based. Inference means it is also evidence but message evidence. All right. First try to solve these questions and after that approach inference one. अच्छा, तो मतलब आप ये जानना चाहते हैं कि हम पैराग्राफ को क्या क्या बोलते हैं, am I right? यही ना, मतलब हम पहले पैरा को दूसरे को, अच्छा ठीक है। वैसे फर्स्ट पैरा को इंट्रोडक्शन बोलते हैं और इंट्रोडक्शन की होता है। उसके बाद सेकेंड पैरा को मेन बॉडी बोलते हैं, मतलब रियल एग्जांपल ऑफ फर्स्ट पैरा। थर्ड पैरा को कंटिन्यूएशन ऑफ बॉडी बोलते हैं। तो कंटिन्यूएशन ऑफ बॉडी मींस नॉट एग्जांपल ऑफ फर्स्ट पैरा बट द एग्जांपल ऑफ सेकेंड पैरा। कुछ केसेस में वो मेंशन कर देते हैं पॉइंट 1, पॉइंट 2, पॉइंट 3 रिलेटेड फर्स्ट, जैसे फर्स्टली, सेकेंडली, थर्डली, उस केसेस में फर्स्ट पैरा। अदरवाइज वो कंटिन्यूएशन ऑफ बॉडी होगा। थर्ड पैरा इज कॉल्ड सेकेंड कंटिन्यूएशन एंड फोर्थ इधर, अगर वो लास्ट है, फोर्थ है तो थर्ड कंटिन्यूएशन, अगर लास्ट है वो तो वो कंक्लूजन रहेगा आपका। ऑल राइट, now let me summarize all, solving one or two questions, directly giving the answer. So the first, solve these types of questions and after that look at, out of 16 questions, almost 8 questions will be inference. Okay, 8 plus question. So you can assume only 6 questions from these 3 areas. So try to solve. Why? Because it has direct location. For example, author primary concern. All right. So the primary concern is first para and you can go through the last para, but mainly first para. Okay. For example, most economists in the United States captivated by the spell of free market. Consequently, nothing seem good or normal does not accord. So what is primary concern? That free market is not good strategy. So the option that says it is not good strategy will be the answer, right? So which option is not related to not good? At least it cannot be, it cannot be, it cannot be, right? It's been from A and B. Is effect of free market, right? That free market predicting the consequences. It's been effect. And here it is all about what? It is not good. Not good means it has not given good result. But here it may be a bad result. Did you see the difference? And therefore B. So what if you have to read whole passage? You can. But such answers are always related to first and second line. This is again inference question. It means though inference is related to certain line, so it is easy. What if you find that it is talking about behavior of large firms? So if it is somewhere large firms or small firms, in that case giving the answer will be easy. That we will do in the next one. Look here, specific one. According to the author, what is the result of Soviet Union's change in the economy policy? So socialist industry. So here you can find the effect of it. It's been directly you can get the answer. So let me tell you the shortcut. What is the question? What is the result of change in economy policy in the 1970s? Right? Look here. All right. Right. Right there. And look, copy paste. Just check. What was the effect of 1970? Soviet firms have been given the power to the fixed price. So that was the 1970 effect. Got it? Which is the answer? Yeah, copy paste. Simple copy paste.
D.
So therefore, such question that is called a specific question, global question, reasoning question is quite easy. Why? Because it is directly given. In inference, there are two categories. What if it is giving you? What if it is giving you clue? If it is giving you clue, then it's fine. If not giving you clue, then it's a problem. So giving you clue, then you can add a little more patience and depth, meaning, then you can give the answer. But better to solve all the broader questions. Why? Because they are copy paste. Attitude toward. What is attitude toward means? Type of tone. So look here. Again, few lines will be more than sufficient. Toward most economies in the United States. Captivated. So here it is what? Simply it is critical. Why? Because captivated means what? They were fooled. So which option is saying they were fooled? Answer. I said they were fooled. It's been economists were fooled. So what is the tone? Very clear. Did you get it? They were fooled means they are being criticized because the economist is what? Highly educated people, right? And highly educated people are fooled means what? What a shame. Right? So see, this is called criticism. It means other questions can be answered directly. Let me find out the reasoning one. Yeah. So look here. The quotation in line 39 is most probably used to. Here this is called used for what? 39 has been used for what? For certain reason. So because quoted one. This is your quoted one. What we obtain too cheap. We esteem too lightly. So what role it is playing here? It is saying that it means it is not valued. It is not valued. So used for what? To undermine or underrate. Which option says undermining or underrating? See, show how opponents of viewpoint of the author of the passage have supported their argument. Okay. So what if you now go with the terminologies? Okay. Now the terminologies, it means some economists, this one, yet means counter. Some economist, yet they miss Thomas Paine's point, this one, that is called counter. and that is A. Got it? Yet opposite, that is called counter. So people, now what I want you to do, first today try some questions that I said that have shortcuts, and then you try what? Inference question. So my suggestion for homework will be, first solve at least 10 to 20 questions of global, and 10 questions global, 10 questions specific. Global means all information from intro conclusion. Specific means few lines. Few lines doesn't mean same line. You need to check context if para is short. Do these questions, check whether the way I have suggested it is working or not. In inference question, there are many concerns. So first, not cited. It's mean not directly mentioned. Fine. So the inference question does not give you direct information, and therefore whenever you are finding the answer, do not match word. Second problem is what? Clue is missing. In many of the case, what you will find that you will not get the clue, and therefore the right location will be a problem. And the biggest problem is direct match. In some cases, there will be direct match. It's mean copy paste of information. And because it is copy paste of information, therefore you eliminate instead of picking the answer. Why? Because you consider that it is directly mentioned, therefore it cannot be the answer. But remember, it can be the answer if other three options are not correct information. So when you are inferring, at least it should be the correct information, right? Now moving to that, how to deal. So in inference question, the problem is what? You need to read whole passage. Number one. Number two, you need to spot correct location. So that may take time. And number three, you have to get the meaning. On the basis of meaning, you have to go to option. That is the third problem. Therefore, it needs patience. So my suggestion will be that deal inference question at last. First, deal all types of questions, and after that return to inference. Almost 60 to 70% question will be from inference in your real exam. Now, how would you get to know that it will be inference question? If you find imply, word imply, suggest, likely to agree, most likely, and of course word infer. So if you find these question stems, it means it is inference. Then what is meaning of inference? So from the literal point of view, inference means message. Okay, but because it is message, therefore in some cases you have to derive, in some cases you have to pick. All right, now the questions, what will be the segregation of deriving or picking? So if conclusion or evidence is given, if directly conclusion or evidence is given, in that case it will be deriving. So you have to derive information. Okay, if conclusion or evidence is not given, then you can believe in copy paste information. Okay, in that case also you have to read, somehow you have to match it. Okay.